Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Connection with the Weekly Comic Book. We've made it through first part of this week's Marvel books, so let's move on and kick things off with the Amazing Spider-Man number 54. Where we left off, Norman had reverted to the Goblin and enacted a plan to basically to have his sins take over Peter Parker and basically pull a superior Spider-Man basics. When Peter, who has been fighting off the essence of the sins of the Goblin, confronted Norman, all goblined up, about this. Basically, Norman set things up so that they would be alone, and Peter's allies were unable to assist Peter. So the issue ends. So the issue begins. Peter has stabbed Norman with a spear and claims that the Green Goblin has a new home. Norman, however, doesn't want his sins in Peter. And in fact, Norman states that he hates the Goblin, and he always hated the Goblin. Also, Wreck-Up got impaled by the Goblin's glider. Kurt Connors is curious if Wreck-Up's okay, though Wreck-Up states he was stabbed to the heart. Luckily, he has more. When asked if he's sure about that, he's not. He is absolutely not sure about that. But Craven is holding Jonah and I believe Doug, basically holding them back and trying and doing what he can to keep everyone from trying to go after Peter. As Craven states that Goblin and the Spider need to deal with this on their own. But it turns out when Peter modified the spear, he put a failsafe into it, and Norman discovers it, stabs Peter with the spear, and the sins are briefly, at least not in Peter. He states that Green Goblin programmed the Winkler device to hold his personality, and Peter improved the design, and states that him and Norman can destroy the Goblin together. But the Goblin persona reasserts itself, and Norman becomes the Goblin, but he tries and successfully manages to transfer his sins to back to Peter, but once again the sins return with the living brain giving Peter a pep talk. And Living Brain manages to make some improvements to the Winkler device's headpiece. And as the sins are once again returned to Peter, Norman slams the headpiece, the modified headpiece of the Winkler device onto Peter, and Peter defeats Norman, the sins of the Green Goblin, and in fact they dissipate before returning to Norman. The sins dissipate. They appear to be gone. But Norman and Peter return and are themselves. Norman asks if Record's okay, and, well, no clue. But Norman states that Peter sacrificed a lot not to destroy Norman, but to save him. And it would make him very happy if they could call themselves friends someday. And Peter says that crazier things have happened. Norman points out that they have, haven't they? And that is where the issue ends. And we are it's on the way to Legacy 950. I believe the next arc will be Tombstone versus Spider-Man. But good story, good issue, good story. I like this. I liked it. Moving on, though, to our next book, we've got Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider, number 3. So, what's been going on in the new Ghost Spider series? Gwen is on Earth 616. For some reason, she has been... The TVA has insisted that she relocate to Earth 616. She tried... They created an identity for her. She tried to, make it so that, the rest of the Spider family wouldn't know she was there. But, well, she had to go and do hero stuff. So yeah. But someone is trying to basically steal her identity. It seems to be the Chameleon. Chameleon is committing various crimes as Spider-Gwen, and Spider-Gwen herself is actually chained up in his base, and she left out some type of energy blast, but that manages to free her, and so she somewhat foils Chameleon's plans with a fight between the two of them, and cops show up trying to, and well, the two Gwens are return to their fight. The Chameleon seemingly gets the upper hand, and Gwen lets out an energy blast. Miles finds her when she comes to, and he thinks she basically made a crater in the street, but she's not sure. He's not sure what she did. Never seen Gwen do anything like that. Also, and Gwen wants to know if she hurt anyone, but she didn't. And Gwen has kind of a is kind of reeling from the fact she could have hurt someone. Elsewhere, Black Tarantula is hired Chameleon, and Chameleon is basically isolating, and he's turned into Electro. That he needs more. He claims he needs more power, and turns into takes something of the form of Green Goblin. That is where the issue ends. Looks like Chameleon's finally become the villain that, you know, I would say, imagine that people have. Some people have thought that he had the potential to be. Moving on, though, to our last book for the moment, we've got Spider-Man, Shadow of the Green Goblin, number 4. So this miniseries takes place in the early, and I mean early days of Spider-Man's career. Issue 2 had a flashback to a fight with Sandman that was shortly after Sandman's first appearance of Amazing Spider-Man number 5, so if that's any indication. Anyways, Nels Van Adder is a scientist who worked for Norman Osborn. He's he's become a test subject for a performance-enhancing serum created by Norman Osborn. Meanwhile, and Nels Van Adder has been basically has had his family leave him, and a mysterious woman has basically pointed Van Adder at Norman Osborn. The mysterious woman is in fact Sarah Osborn, Norman Osborn's wife, Sarah Osborn, Norman's wife, Harry's mother. And Sarah tells the Proto-Goblin, Van Adder, to kidnap Harry for her so that she can get her son. But Norman is reeling from the kidnapping of his son, and so yeah. But Spider-Man goes to take on the Proto-Goblin, and he ends up reliving Uncle Ben's murder, apparently by hallucination, because Van Adder is as he continues to devolve, secreting a psychoactive alkaloid. But Norman Osborn leaves the hospital, and at the same time, Gwen and George Stacy are visiting Gwen's mother, George's wife, who is dying of cancer. And she dies in the issue. But Harry gets reconnected with his mother, but Norman shows up. They fight, and they have something of an argument. Spider-Man tracks down Van Adder, and his inexperience shows, though, at various points. But Norman pulls a gun on Sarah, and but he can't pull the trigger. However, Norman tells Harry tells Sarah to leave, and Norman sprays Harry with a chemical to make him forget. Van Adder comes upon Sarah as he is degenerating. Spider-Man shows up over not having heard the conversation between between him and Sarah. Apparently, Sarah promised him an antidote to the proto-goblin serum, but there is no antidote. Proto-goblin runs off into the woods. Peter manages to at least make sure that Sarah gets on her way, and the proto-goblin devolves into goop. Presumably, Oscorp scientists take the remains. And the series ends with Norman and Harry comforting George and Gwen Stacy. And also, there was a subplot in the series that there was some stressors placed on the relationship between May and Peter after the death of Uncle Ben, and the series fully ends with with May and Peter basically getting over their issues, and May bringing Peter breakfast in bed. And that is where like I said, that's where the series ends. It was a good series. Takes place from I believe the era when Aunt May was presumed dead after Amazing 400. But anyways, that's going to do it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, Mastodon, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock heading off saying, live long and rock hard.